Hi, I'm Nick and this is the TBT channel. Welcome to today's video. Now, today's video is part 3 of my new Reximex Force 1, but part 4, I believe, of the Quarterbore saga. Quarterbore saga, doesn't really matter. Basically, what we did in the first one was take it all out of the box. In the second one, we did some accuracy testing. Started out very badly, ended very well, and now in the third one we're gonna change over with basically what we have here on the very long gun. I'm starting to think of it more as a spear gun because of the sheer length of the thing. But what we did was we mounted the DNT Zulus 1 onto the gun to do some accuracy testing there, just to pellet testing to find out how it went, and it only liked one pellet of the 3 that I tried. But that's okay, because your gun only needs to like one pellet as long as it's a readily available pellet. In this case it was a JSB King Exact, easily got hold of, and I'm rapidly running out of them. So we discovered it likes those a lot. Now in the accuracy testing video you'll see I made one raggedy hole, but that was actually soggy cardboard, thick soggy cardboard. It was doing much better than that. It was just ripping chunks of cardboard as it went through. So the group was actually much better than it looked in that video. And I've been shooting this a lot since. So I'm going to change this over to my Mars, what is it? It's a Oneleaf.AI Mars thermal scope. But before I do that, because I'm not sure of the plinkability of thermal, I just wanted to play around with the gun first. So before I changed it over, I just took a few shots, put in some ballistics, took a few shots in the garden. We'll take a look at that now. And we're inside the scope. So, as I said before I put the thermal on, I have been shooting this an awful lot. I just wanted to have a little play, and I wanted to show you. I've just put in, I zeroed it at 42 meters, I think it was it? I copied across the same ballistic data that I had for the 2.2. I just changed the weight of the pellet and the speed of the pellet, so it's approximately right. I've been popping away in the garden. I thought I'd just do a little bit of filming of it just to show you how good these scopes are. And by these scopes, this is the DNT Zulus 1, but it's just the laser range finding ballistic calculators in general. So you can see the little red cross above my dot. That's because we're at 24 meters there, so it's giving me hold under. Let me just see if I can get my breath and take the shot. So that is bob on at 24 meters. I've got 10 shots in the magazine. Let's see what we got around the garden. If you haven't seen my Lego Man video, go look for it. I'm actually using an HW30 in that one. But these targets are just a lot of fun. So that's the 3 at 24. Then we go down to my target box, which is just my ducks. But you can see I've got the tiny Lego men on that one. So I'm going to come out a little bit. No, I don't need to, do I? Just going to range find that. 40 meters. Press it again. No, that's 52 to E. So the little red cross is now just below, I hadn't cocked it, just below the thing. So there's a tiny amount of holdover according to that. Got him. And these ones are actually the size of a Lego man. Just for scale, because we've all got some of those somewhere. Oh! I mean, that's me. You can't really blame the gun for that. Gotcha. I might run out of pellets in this mag. I might have to put more. I can't remember how many I put out. .25 cal, clinical, sub £300 rifle. What have we got next? I believe I put a is that a troll? There's a troll, look. a troll at 55 metres, which is there. Just gonna, my little arrows are showing I'm canted over. I thought I was a small amount. Put that onto the, into the green. Just over the top, possibly to the side of his pointed hat, or maybe the small amount of wind is pushing it over. Let's try there. Yeah, so that was at 55. Now we're going to range find to there, 73. Look at that holdover. Even at 30 foot-pounds we've got that much holdover. So what I'm going to do is blah, 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 go the other way, zoom in a little bit more, focus a little bit better, and what we're going to try and do, I've got 4 down there. I've got a large Lego man either side of the troll, and they're set back, so theoretically I should be able to shoot those without disturbing the troll. Then I've got the troll, and just down there I've got a trick shot. Look at that, that is a tiny Lego man at 73 metres. That makes the Quigley bucket look like a barn door, frankly. And if you don't know what the Quigley bucket is, where have you been all your life? Right, that's empty. That's empty. I'm going to have to reload. Let me just... I'm not going to bother pausing it. I was going to pause it. I won't bother. I'm just going to get in the hang of reloading this now. It's a kind of spring-loaded magazine, which I kept flicking pellets all over the place at first. Once you know how to do it, it's easy. Also, that tin of 350 pellets I had, there's not many of them left. I'm going to have to order some more. This is a lot of fun to use. And, oh, it's just a lot of fun to use. It's accurate enough. How accurate do you want it to be? I mean, you could spend, this was £280, I believe. One that looks very similar to this would be somewhere in the region of 7 times that amount if you bought it from another manufacturer, which I'm sure has better materials and all that kind of jazz, but still, 208 quid. Can't forget that. So, here we go. We're loaded up, another 10. Let's see how many we need for these 4 targets. Headshot. Sorry, how unprofessional of me. You'll see that that actually went a shade higher than where my crosshairs were. So, as I say, I roughly did the ballistics for this. I just copied across from the other one, so the ballistic coefficient obviously is very slightly different to the 2.2 version. So allowing for that, I'll go centre body mass. Again, I think that was on the 3 line rather than where the red cross is. That's a me issue. When I did the 2.2 one, I spent an afternoon perfecting it, and that's why that scope isn't coming off of my Reximex Meta Plus. That's staying exactly where it is. Okie dokie, that's 3 for 3. Now I've got that little groover. Bearing in mind, I know I'm shooting slightly high, so let's try it there. Oh, that is cracking. Absolutely crack-a-lacking. Right. Time to put a thermal on it, I guess. And that's a standard size Lego man at 73 metres. If I had a much more expensive PCP rifle, I'd be worried about this one. I really would, because how accurate is accurate? You know, that's 73 metres. It goes exactly where you want it to. How much further do you need for just a 30 foot-pound gun? Anyway, I digress. Whether this is good value or not will probably be in a separate video. But what do you think? Tell me, what do you think? Is this good value? Under 300 quid? I know what I think. Right, so without further ados, let's take off this scope. Ay, ay, ay. The Gen 1, which is the one I've got on here. It's a good scope. Did I say there's a link? I'll put a link down below, because every time I do something like this, people say, oh, what's that scope you're using? These are phenomenally good value right now. Night and day, laser rangefinder, all kinds of ballistic stuff on there. It is a bonkers deal. So take a look at that while we put on this one here. Now, as I say, this is the Oneleaf.AI Mars MT1000 LRF. Trips off the tongue. But the difference between this and that is that one was sent to me for testing. This is mine. I think I may have mentioned when I was saying about which 25 caliber air rifle I was buying, the reason for choosing a PCP over a Springer was I'm putting my own £1,500 unit on the top of it. Not keen on destruction testing it when it's mine. If it was somebody else's and they said destruction test it, oh yeah, I'll do that for you, no problem. So this unit, you will have seen it. I have done a video on this unit. It's bloody fantastic. It is. There's a night mode when you go through all the different colours of Hujima flip you can have. Hujima flip, that's not the real word, is it? The different colours of thermal you can have. One of the options is night sight, and that's there. Do you remember the first generation night vision stuff that had that green hue to it? It's that. And looking through it, it's just like you're using a first generation night sight. It's absolutely fabulous. And it has the same ballistics electricity, the laser rangefinder built in, and the same ballistics programming, so I should be able to transfer across the data I've put into that DNT unit into this, and that'll be a good starting point for where it goes. The only problem I can see with thermal is it's going to be trickier to zero because you only see heat signatures. So drawing a dot on a piece of paper doesn't have the same effect because the dot's the same temperature as the piece of paper, unless it's a sunny day, which it is because my eyes are watering. Unless it's a sunny day, and I'm hoping a black dot will show up as warmer than the surrounds, but we'll see. That is to come. That is part of the excitement of this video. Inside of the box here, by the way, I've got my thermal unit, and it came with, this is the top of the range one, right? Because I didn't know whether I wanted a small objective lens or a larger one. Basically, the difference between them is this one doesn't magnify it as much as that one. So if I was shooting rats at close range, this would be the one to go for. I'm going to be shooting out to the main hive of activity I can see from my little voles down there is about 50 meters away. So I'm putting that one on because although you have a digital zoom on this, all it does is expand digitally the image it receives. So if you start off with a less magnified picture, by the time you've magnified it, it's going to have half the resolution of something that starts off with twice as much magnification. And I think the larger one is going to be the one for me. Fatty. Oh, Morrissey, don't you get on your tits? Sorry, it's the Tourette's coming out again. I can't help completing sentences with song lyrics, obscure ones sometimes. So what's this do? What's going on here? What's the come and a go? It's been a while since I've mounted this on anything, so that locks off that way. So I want to find out where that's happy. Then lock off the rear one. Okay. This is a slightly different size to the last one, so I'm just going to give those a little adjust. The mounts for this are adjustable quick release. So you can pop him on there, and you've got your quick release clamp there, and that's nice and tight. That one's not quite tight enough. So I'm going to... the back one I got right, the rear one wants to be just a little tighter by turning him that way, like that. Let's try that again. Da, 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 da. Nice and tight, nice and tight. That's on there. That's it. It is as simple as that. Now I'm just going to have a little quick. Remember where the on-off button is for this one. Click. That's on. I'm going to have a little look through, see what the eye relief is like. Waiting for the screen to fire up. Right, now if you didn't see my thermal thing about this scope, you're in for a treat, because you're going to see what I can see through this now, and we shall go and do some zeroing. And welcome to the wonderful world of thermal. I love this scope. Oh dear, right, so this is the back garden. That green cross in the middle there, I've put in some ballistic parameters with my information I got from the DNT. It seems roughly right. As I say, the tricky thing with thermal is actually zeroing. What I was doing in the end was shooting onto a concrete slab, and it was leaving a lovely bright mark wherever it landed, so I was just using that as a reference point, and managed with about 8 or 9 shots to zero it into that. Close enough for jazz at the moment. Now we're looking down the garden at a tree which is 63 metres away, and that's on its lowest zoom setting. So as we zoom in, you can see this is twice this one here. When we start off, that's just the pure magnification from the objective lens. Then we double that, and then we double that, but you can see the resolution is staying the same. Sorry, that's doubled again. That's 4 times, and that's 5 times, 8 times, you know, and by now on leaves that's pretty pants, but I'm not going to be shooting leaves, so it doesn't really matter. The detail we can see down there in the tennis courts, let's see if I can focus better for the tennis courts. You can see the net, you can see the posts, you can see how the tarmac's a lot warmer than everything else, and you can see cars going past. Look at that, they're about 400 metres away, so it's all good. Oh, a couple of pigeons flying across there, look, they're a couple of 100 metres away. It's all good, and the definition is perfect for hunting. The one thing I am struggling with, you'll see just between the 4s there, to the 2 o'clock position of the cross on the end of it, that's my concrete block that I've got at the end of the garden at 73 metres to put my little Lego men's on. But the thing is, with this, you can't really zoom in well enough to see a Lego man. There is half of one on there, so is that half of one? It's difficult to tell. It really is difficult to tell. Let's see. I'm just going to zoom out, and we'll just give that a go to see how close my parameters are. So first of all, I've got to try and capture that little tiny block amongst all the weeds. Oh, that went over the top. 69. So is that right? That's 129 meters ranging. Let's go back out again, see if I can capture him amongst the weeds, because we can't see the weeds through the thermal scope very well. We can see where the concrete block is, but most of the time we're picking up weeds and we have to try and get around those. Wait till it flicks up to somewhere around about 70. There we go. So that should be about right, and that's my aim point. So let's see if this does go roughly where I think it should be going at that range. Well, it hit the block. That's all I can tell you, because I heard it hit it, and it's mud. Well, mud. It's ground before and afterwards. So I know it hit the block, but it's going to take an awful lot more detailed stuff to get it. And where I'm looking at here for my actual hunting is around about here, which is about 55 meters away. Let me just about there. So there's a bunch of runs down there, and that's where my aim point is for those. So what I'm actually going to do is heat some Lego men up in the oven, quickly skip down there, put them out, and then shoot them, just to make sure I've got my range in right for that distance, because that's where it's going to be shot. But this is inside of the thermal. As I say, it's very good quality thermal, but obviously not as good as a day and night scope. for daytime use, because you're seeing a thermal representation, not an optical representation. So looking at the cars over there, which I'll just zoom out and range find them for you, because these things matter if you're thinking of buying something like this. I mean, it's a lot of money to spend. So that's 415 meters away, that car. So you can see it quite nicely through this. You can even see it says, is that a Renault? Is that a Clio? Or is that a, I think it's a Clio. So this is my, what I think this is white hot, and we've got a choice of that or sepia, iron bow, rainbow, night. That's the night vision one I was talking about. It is spookily like the old-fashioned night vision. I quite like it for nostalgic reasons. Aurora, red hot, jungle is massive, medical, no idea why it's medical, black hot, which is the one I normally prefer, glory hot, which just sounds awesome, and then back to white hot. So that's your choices. Can we see, let's see if I can focus in a little bit and zoom out a little bit. Is that my sandpit where I was shooting my Lego man before? It is. And that there in the crosshairs there, that is actually a remains of a Lego man. So let's range find him, pop a shot into him and see how we are at 24 meters. So as I say, this needs fine tuning to get it right, which I'm not going to bore you with, but it should, saying it should be there. Yeah, it's there roughly, isn't it? It's there roughly. But I need to get some different temperature targets out so that I can do it. So the thermal unit's on and it's zeroed. And there you have it. I've got a fully dedicated 25 caliber thermal rig. And it is, I mean, it is bloody good. I'm increasingly impressed with this gun. I know it's only doing what you would expect a PCP to do, but I don't see how this is doing any less than a PCP for several times this cost does, regulator aside. But the regulator I'm not finding an issue, because I'm getting 70 plus shots within 1 foot-pound in a power curve, and I'm happy with that as a hunting rig. 70's plenty, but also it's much more suited, in my opinion, to bench shooting. Look at that, look at the length. Would you look at the length of that, madam? It is absolutely huge. I've got a little bit of fine adjusting to do with the thermal before I can do my proper shooting with it, which is what we shall be doing next. But certainly so far, I'm absolutely loving the gun. This thermal unit, you've seen through it, it is out of this world good. But then again, that is reflected in the cost. The only downside I can see of this thermal so far is it restricts my ability to play shooting at Lego men. If you didn't see the Lego men thing, have a look down below. I'll put a link into the HW30 video where I'll show you how to make those. Like, subscribe, hit notifications. I think we've reached the end of this one. I need to do some more stuff. Then we shall be back and we shall do some shooting, and there'll be some live action hunting. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.